Hello guys, I hope everybody is doing good. We're going to be starting out with this chapter called as GARP Code of Conduct. Okay. Now this chapter is basically a ethics driven chapter, and basically they are telling you that if you are a risk manager, if you're a GARP certified professional, then how you should be behaving. The content of the chapter, even when you read the textbook, okay, it is very logical, it is very common sense driven. I'll be walking you through them quickly, but the most important part is we have to solve questions. In this session, we're going to be solving around 10-15 questions also on that. So let us start talking about GARP Code of Conduct. Okay, it is basically been created to have ethical and professional principles for whom people who are risk managers, who are either FRM, ERP, and other GARP certification. Okay, and who has created it. Okay, it is created by Global GARP Board of Trustees. Now, why there was a need for this? Because when you are working for a risk management team, okay, as a risk management professional, if you do not behave ethically, the bank can face huge losses. So to make sure that there is good amount of ethical conduct within the business, okay, the risk manager are actually supposed to follow the GARP Code of Conduct. Okay, what are the main things of this GARP Code of Conduct? Highest standard, okay, the best you can do, okay, in terms of integrity, in terms of reporting, in terms of transparency, all of that, okay. It applies to one person and also the overall community. That means we have to behave ethically in the market. Okay, so this is basically a brief overview of what is the code of conduct trying to tell you. Okay, now we will be entering into individual principles. Okay, individual principles which have been covered over here. Okay, beyond legal compliances, see, legal compliance means you are following the rules and regulation. But when you're talking about being ethical, even though the rule is not saying, are you following the ethical standard? Are you following the code of conduct? So it is not just about following the rule written. Okay, you have to understand that if you're working and operating in the market, there is some universal ethical culture that you have to follow. Not just the requirement of the law, requirement of the government. No. In every decision making, you have to follow ethics. Because what we have realized in the past, that there have been a lot of scam, a lot of fraud, a lot of scandals that have happened in the past because people have not behaved ethically. Okay, people have made some mistakes. Okay, there has been poor ethical judgment from people, one or two people, and it has impacted a lot of people in the market. For example, if you look at Satyam scam, okay, one or two people or a group of people trying to earn some money has an impact on the overall market, right? So it is expected that you have to follow the ethical standard in every decision making of the company. Okay, now very basic, very simple, right, till this point. Any queries? All right, I'm going to move ahead. One size fit for our standard. Okay, generally what happens is, okay, we cannot have a GARP code of conduct, okay, or basically any standard which is explicitly written for everybody globally. It is not possible, right? So every region, every country, every culture is going to be different. Something is normal in, say, African countries might not be normal in US. Okay, so what they are trying to highlight is we have tried to give a code which is flexible. Okay, it is not one fit for all. It is flexible as per the region, as per the culture. But the overall thing that you have to follow is you have to behave ethically. Okay, and you have to continuously learn, continuously adapt. Okay, continuously see what is happening in the market. That is very important part. And whatever you are learning, you have to share it with other participants or other practitioners. That is why professional standards and all, it is continuously evolving. So a regulator will come out with new rules. Your GARP code of conduct might also change in the future. So you have to be available and understand what is the change and how it is going to be implemented in my work. Okay, and because the framework is global, okay, it is not specific to any country, any region, it is across the global and with some level of flexibility being provided. Okay, very basic information. Let us start with the first section, professional integrity and ethical conduct. In the book also you'll find the principles being talked about over there. Okay, act professionally, ethically and with integrity. That means whoever you are dealing with, current client, prospective clients, your employer, employee, interns, everybody behave professionally. Okay, don't cheat them. Right? Dayanand, right now? Deal with them with professionalism. Okay. Look at the next one, independence and objectivity. Okay, you can mark this as star. The second point. So why independence and objectivity? Now think about this. You are going to create, you're going to be writing a report. Suppose you're working for a consulting firm. You're going to be writing a report for a client. Okay, and you're accepting some gift, some benefit from that client. Then it might affect your decision making. When you're writing the report, you might not write bad against that person because your independence is now got impacted. So that is why they're saying you should not offer, you should not give, not solicit, provide, or accept any gift or any benefit which is going to impact your independence and objectivity. Now, they are not saying do not accept anything. What they are saying is do not accept those gifts which is going to impact your independence and objectivity. Okay? See, very logically, if I am working as a CEO of a company, if somebody gives me a 500 rupees gift, it is not going to impact me. But if somebody gives me a $5,000 gift, it might impact. Correct? Right? So this is the second point, mark this as star. Next is, don't use your services for illegal activity. You cannot say that I am giving risk management services to some terrorist organization. That is wrong. So do not provide your service to anybody who is doing illegal activity, improper activity, fraudulent activity. Don't do that as a professional. Okay, very basic, logical. Do not misrepresent. Now suppose you see in the market, okay, you feel that this company is going to grow by 10%. Don't say 30%. Okay, so whenever you are writing reports, you are giving your recommendation, your analysis, don't overstate the facts. Okay, don't overstate things. Because market participants will take a wrong impression. They will take positions in the market based on your report, based on your recommendation. Correct? I'm going to take a pause. Any query, any confusion to this point? All good? Now, when you read the content, I will feel this is very logical. Obviously, I will not do that. Right? Unknowingly misrepresenting any fact, that is still okay. That is still okay. Okay, because you are not aware about it. Okay, if you are able to prove that, that's okay. But knowingly, you should not misrepresent. Okay, avoid dishonesty or deception. Okay, this is very logical. Whenever you join any organization, they might not explicitly mention, but it is clear, right? Okay, you should not cheat. Okay, you should not be dishonest to your profession. You should not be dishonest to your company. Okay, there is a personal integrity that you have to follow, or else it will, see, one person doing wrong, one risk manager is doing wrong, it is going to be an impact on the overall community, right? And specifically, if you are becoming a GARP FRM charter holder, the designation will get impacted, the brand will get impacted. So this is what something you need to be clear on. Do not do anything which is going to impact the reputation, not yours, not your company, not your GARP, basically. Okay. The last point is important. Mark this as star. Now think about this. Suppose, let me take a reference. Jason. Okay, Jason is working for a US bank, but he's been posted in, say, Dubai. Okay. As per US regulation, okay, you are supposed to send an intimation to client in 3 days. But as per Dubai regulation, it is 10 days. So you're going to be following the highest standard, highest ethical standard, which is going to be 3 days. Even though the local regulation is in 10 days, you will still complete it in 3 days. That is what the logic is, highest ethical standard, right, Jason? Right? Beware of the local customs. Okay? So if you, a very simple example of this would be when you go to Middle East, there is an Islamic banking section. Right? So the way they operate is very different than the normal banks that we see. Right? Because they are following some custom related logic. Okay, so over here also, when you are operating in those areas, those regulations, okay, you have to be aware that what are the local rules and regulations, local customs that they are following in the operations, in the working. You have to follow that. Okay, so be aware, but always follow the highest standard, whichever will protect you. Okay, mark this as star. right? Rajshekhar sir, I hope you're there. Section number 2, conflict of interest. Okay, now this conflict of interest part is very important. Say for example, okay, if suppose I'm talking to Rajshekhar sir and Rajshekhar sir said that I want to buy a car, okay, and I am asking him to go and talk to this X person, and that if sir purchases the car, I'll get some commission. There is a conflict of interest, correct? I should have informed him. Similarly, when you see a lot of people who come on NDTV Profit, ET Now, all of these channels, okay, they come over there and they basically talk about buy this stock. If they're already purchased that stock, they should inform, or there is a conflict of interest. Why? Because they will tell everybody to buy, everybody will buy, and price will go up, and then they will sell. Right? So there should not be any conflict of interest. Full and fair disclosure should happen. Full and fair disclosure, proper. Okay? So that, see, when you're doing full and fair disclosure, one more simple example. Suppose if you are writing a report for a particular company, and the company has paid you to write a report, and in the report mention that you have to highlight that I have been paid to do this report. Okay, if you do not do full and fair disclosure, what will happen? It will impair your independence and objectivity. Okay, it will impair your independence and objectivity. Now suppose you're doing hiring for your company, okay, and your friend has also applied for the job, and you're only taking the interview. Then there is no independence. You know him, right? Automatically, there is a chance that you might favor him. So over here, your independence is got impacted. Okay, so whenever you're dealing with clients, new clients, old time customers, anybody, make sure that whatever recommendation, whatever you do, should not impact your independence and objectivity. You should give a fair answer to them. Okay? All good on this point? Can I get a quick confirmation on chat? Everybody? Okay? Confidentiality. Okay? Now suppose if Rahul comes and tells me he has 3 crore rupees, it's confidential information, and I tell this to tax authorities. Right, Rahul? And that is a problem. So confidentiality is very, very important because you're dealing with client's information, okay, client's transaction. Okay, so do not use any confidential information till the time you have it in writing. Okay, against to get any benefit. Don't use, you yourself should use, or you should not pass it on to somebody to get any gains. Okay. So, and specifically with respect to your work also, if you're working on a crucial AI model and you're passing that information outside, that is a problem, right? Do not use confidential information for personal gain under any circumstances, okay? So, confidentiality of content, confidentiality of information, work, anything should not be shared. Section number 3. Okay, fundamental responsibility as a GARP member, or basically as a risk professional. Okay, follow all the rules and regulations. It should not be the case that you are a very good risk manager and all, but you're basically do not follow the rules and regulation of the company or the city that you are located in. Okay, you're violating the legal rules and regulations, and it is of no use. So always follow all the rules and regulations. Okay, and then operate in the market. Okay, look at the next point. You cannot, ethical duties are personal and not transferable. You cannot say that, okay, suppose you are a supervisor and one of your junior who was reporting to you, he made some mistake. You cannot say that, okay, it was his mistake. It is your responsibility to supervise, correct? So if somebody is giving you the work, okay, you cannot assign it to somebody else, right? Members should demonstrate a clear understanding of their employers or client specific need. Mark this a star. Now, mis-selling that happens. Okay, how many people working for banks? Right? A lot of people working for banks. So, when you have pressure, okay, when you have pressure, mis-selling can happen. Correct? And in the history, 2007 crisis also, a lot of customers in US market, they were sold home loans, okay, without they were being aware about the complexity of the product. Okay, so what happens is, if you do a lot of mis-selling, it is going to create a bad impact in the market, and that is what happened during 2007 and 8. So whenever you are giving any advice, any service, any product to the customer, make sure, okay, that you do not give him wrong impression. Okay, so mark this section as star. Next, you should not exaggerate the precision and the reliability. You should not say that if you join my classes, you'll clear the exam. No, it is not possible without your efforts, right? Same goes if you take my portfolio management services, I'll give you 10% return, 100% return, whatever people commit, basically. Okay, so you should not exaggerate. Okay, try to be as transparent, whatever is your forte, whatever is your knowledge. Give the client clear information about your expertise, about your knowledge, and whatever is the norm of the industry, you should be aware about that. But do not give wrong impression to the customer. Okay? Right, I'm going to move ahead now. I'm slightly fast over here because more or less it's logical. Best practices for GARP member. Okay? You can mark this section. Members must carry out their duties with diligence and maintain independence from any party. So whenever I am coming out with any report or recommendation, okay, if suppose I am going to talk about some XYZ company, I should not be getting some benefit from that company. Okay, so basically my decision should be independent or objective. Okay, whatever due diligence I am doing, it should be done with independence. Okay, and see that's why these two words will come out: independence and objectivity. Okay, further you should be updated. Okay, see, you cannot say that I am working for bank risk manager or management and I am not aware about basic. Nobody is asking you to be aware about the detailed rules, but at least you should be aware about what is the basics of basic, right? So this why they are saying generally acceptable risk management practices which are followed everywhere. You should be aware about those rules and regulations. Okay. I'm taking one more quick pause. Any query, any confusion till this point? Right? Mark this as also star and this as also star. Okay? All communication should be accurate and verifiable information. Do not give wrong information to the client. This happens in a lot of cases. Okay, when they're selling to client, they give wrong information. Okay, your product, you'll get your money double in 10 days, 1 month. In insurance sector also it happens. Okay, so don't give incorrect information. Always separate the fact and your opinion. This is important. When you're writing reports, whatever you have seen, because see, when you're writing report, you might be reading government website, industry website, some past data. So you might be able to see something which is happening, which is a fact. And based on that fact, you are giving a understanding that I believe this is going to happen. So that bifurcation will be there. Whoever is reading the document should be able to clearly identify what is a fact and what is your understanding or your opinion. Okay, mark this start. If you do not follow, okay, Jason, Vani, Nitin, if you do not follow, what will happen? Okay, if this breach happens, okay, see this is very basic, so I'm not repeating it. You have to follow all the rules and regulation. First, there's going to be temporary suspension. If you are already using FRM, then there's going to be temporary suspension. If GARP found out that they are actually doing it for a lot of time, there is intention, then there will be permanent removal from the membership. Okay, and you cannot use FRM designation, and there can be formal investigation also. Okay, so beware everybody. Okay, so these are the code of conduct that we have seen till now. Now we will be entering into questions. Okay, now I want everybody to have a quick read on those questions, on those sections. Okay, let us read the first question. Everybody kindly read the first question. Second. I hope everybody has read. So for the last two trading session, Raghav, his manager at Shikhar Fund, has aggressively bought this company while simultaneously selling the put option on the same stock. Okay, put option on the same stock. Although clients are familiar with the fund's return-oriented approach, he did not inform about the specific transactions, which is the following is likely the reason. But see over here, what he's doing, he's taking some position in the market. Okay, and he's working for that Shikhar Alpha Fund. Okay, now whoever is invested into that fund, he's not informing anybody. See, when you invest into mutual fund, when they buy and sell, they don't inform you. You are aware that it's an equity fund, it's a bond fund, right? So you are aware about the general strategy, not the exact strategy what they're doing at that point in time. So this is not a breach. The answer is A. Okay. See, this is wrong because every time you don't have to inform. Okay. Secondly, he is saying they have not done proper due diligence. But by reading, you cannot identify that he has not done the due diligence. Second, we are saying he is manipulating the marketplace. By taking a stock and by taking a put option, there is no manipulation. When you go into the derivative chapter also, you will understand. There is no manipulation that is happening. Hence the answer is A. Okay? Look at the second question fast. Rajiv Banerjee is working for Zenith Capital. He recently accepted an invitation of this company, manufacturer of industrial chemical and tour or global facility. He offered a luxury accommodation and a premium suite, private jet on Mumbai, London, Singapore. Additionally, he provided 2 exclusive tickets for high-profile gala. Kalam's dinner. Okay. Is my voice clear? Is my voice clear? आवाज आ रही है right now? Okay, so Rajiv has refused the hotel, the airplane, okay, but he is basically accepting that ticket or the lunch, okay, which he is disclosed to his employer. He is already informed. Okay, why is he going there? Because he is going to basically promote the company's product. Is there a breach? A lot of people are saying A. Yes, it's a breach. Why? Primary reason, it's a high profile gala. So one dinner ticket would be like 50,000, 70,000, like that. Okay. So it's a high profile ticket. Okay, and that is what he's getting. So he might be influenced and he might not write something bad about that particular company. Okay. Answer is A. Let us go to this next question. Fast. Everybody, start reading. Ananya manages a diversified capital equity fund, holds between 40 to 60 securities, and she is having her own proprietary own model to guide her investment. Now, what is she claiming? Our advanced quantitative models with risk exposure similar to Nifty 50. This is an index. Okay. As a result, the fund is positioned to closely mirror the performance when targeting an annual return. That means they're saying, my fund is exactly matching with Nifty 50, but I'll be able to generate 2 to 4% higher than Nifty 50. Is it possible? Read. See, over here they are saying it's impossible because of portfolio theory, internal model. Okay. Is she misrepresenting the service she or her firm can provide? She is misrepresenting the level of investment performance. See, her service of providing the fund management, that is not wrong. What they are saying that how my fund is going to perform, that is wrong. So answer is C. Answer is C, because I am giving a wrong picture to the person that was answering both the my portfolio and the Nifty 50 is almost same, but I'll be able to generate high. How is it possible? You will be able to generate the same return. Correct? Look at the next question. Chalo fast. Start reading. Okay, Ritika, an equity analyst at Weber Securities, a brokerage firm. Okay, they are dealing with some high net worth individual, and they have come up with a report regarding East African emerging markets. And in that report, she is written, given the sharp rise in new service order for this, we believe most of the companies will convert their revenue to profitability. We expect this trend to continue for the next 3 to 5 years. Okay. She also talked about political uncertainty and currency volatility. Is there a violation? Come on, guys. What is the answer? See, a lot of people are saying C, but see, they are saying recommending that it does not suit. Is it written in the statement that it is not matching with the requirement of the investors? We cannot see that. So this is wrong. Here they are saying operational structure of the African companies. But do you know that was required as per the report? No, no. He not clearly differentiated opinion and facts. It is written, given, and we believe. It's clearly mentioned. You will have to read, correct? So answer is A. There is no breach. Okay. Next question. Okay, Nikita Kapoor, FRM has managed private portfolio of the customer. One of the customer, Rati, is under investigation by the tax department for suspected tax evasion. Okay, shortly after learning about this, so Nikita basically went and talks to his friend who is working for a bank and who was actually going to work with Vikram. Okay, on Rati's public issue. Now they stopped him. Is there a breach or not? Dhoni, is there a breach? Divya, Jason. Yes, the answer is there has been a breach because they have disclosed the information, confidential information. No, but if that person was doing wrong, she should inform, na? Okay. See, somebody is saying D. Why this is not the answer? Because the client, they are saying client was generating potentially. See, it is suspected tax evasion. They are not sure. First of all, right? If you are not sure, you cannot say that. Right? Why not see? Where will you report? The income tax authority is already checking it. So you can report to him only. Them only, right? So this is also wrong. Next, by not ending the relationship, again, why should she end? And it is not proved that there is a tax evasion. It is just an inquiry. So there is no logic on that. So answer is going to be what? B. Correct? All good? Look at this next question fast. Okay. Samarjit is working for a Bharat investment house. Oversees the fund focused on logistics and businesses. Samarjit has connections within the regulator from whom he received access to confidential shares and urban data of some of the listed firms before they are publicly released. This is getting it before them. Okay, while this practice is not illegal under certain local norms, they are not aligned with the international standard. It means the country where he is operating, it is normal, everybody is doing it. Okay, regarding this material non-public information. So, is there a breach? If yes, then why? Chalo, read all the options. See, is there a confidentiality issue? No, because see, he is not giving any information to everybody. He is receiving it. So he is not breached confidentiality. Clear? Is there a conflict of interest? See, conflict of interest will come when I am going to make some benefit by giving wrong information to somebody. Right? say I'm telling you buy this stock and I've already purchased it, then that is wrong. Right? This is not a case of conflict of interest. It's a problem with professional integrity and ethical, because ideally he is supposed to follow the highest standard. Because what international standards are saying, we should have followed. So answer is C. Okay, answer is C. Look at this next question fast. Aditya Kulkarni works as a risk cap, but it is normal in his location. So if in one location it is normal to rob, will you do that? No, no. Rahul will follow the highest standard. Correct? So let us go to the next part. Aditya Kulkarni is working for True Wealth Ventures, a Mumbai-based venture capital firm focused on funding startups in something area. After conducting initiatives, this supervisor, this supervisor approved seed funding. One of the startups was co-founded by Aditya's wife. Without informing the firm of his relationship, he moved forward with the recommendation and documentation. He has not informed that one of the selected fund is my wife's. Okay? Is there a problem? But he has not selected, no? The supervisor has selected. He is just following the documentation. And it is not my company, my wife's company. Right? So the answer is this, because we failed to disclose, this is going to impact. Because today, this is the first round of funding. In future, there might be multiple rounds of funding, and he then might give undue advantage to his wife's company. Right? So answer is C. That is what the logic they are looking at. Potential conflict of interest, not now, potential. Okay? Rajesh and Pratik both are working in a general insurance company. Okay, Rajiv discovered Pratik has been sharing some sensitive information to his friend Dave, who is working for Vedanta Capital. Dave has been using this information for his benefit. Is Pratik doing correct? And what should Rajiv do? Chalo. You should ignore, na? Because he is not making any money. Dave Malhotra is making money. No? Right? Rajiv should revoke Pratik's FRM. He does not have the authority. Right? Rajiv should take no action since the misuse is done by someone outside. He is involved. Na? Answer is D. He should report. Correct? He should report. Shraddha is working for Kaveri Capital. He is, after completing 2-year project with the corporate client has been giving a personal gift as a token of appreciation. So whether she should accept that gift or not. Okay, the engagement has completely ended. Okay, see, look at the option. Always try to eliminate the option. Decline the gift, but ask the client to send it to the company. Why would company be involved? Why would company take and give it to? Doesn't make sense. Okay, so they are saying accept the gift, disclose to the employer, accept the gift because the relationship is ended. Ideally, the answer is deny. Why? Because in the future, the client can again come back, and then because the gift was provided, you might not be dependent. You might face some problem you might give added advantage to that company. Right? That is the logic. Vedanta is a diversified company. They are buying and selling stocks on emerging market companies. Read all the content properly. In their monthly report, the fund highlighted increased volume in that same market and said this is a positive signal of liquidity. That means more and more people are investing and encouraging more investors to participate in their fund. Okay, and because of which more people invested in their fund, which is going to invest into emerging market. So, do you realize what is happening? They have a fund. They are asking two of their subsidiary companies to buy and sell so that this fund investment will look good. This is a problem. So this is out. This is out. Is this conflict of interest or is it professional deal? Conflict of interest. See, if you are going to invest in a fund, I earn some percentage fee that is aware to the customer. So there is no conflict of interest. You are actually creating problem in the market. Right? So this is a problem of professional integrity and ethical context. So answer is going to be D. Right? Answer is going to be because you are artificially moving the volumes of the market. Okay? Answer is D. With this, we have completed the chapter.